was a backlog of 90,000 passport applicants. What progress has the passport office made in clearing some of these backlogs, and how to prevent a reoccurrence of this?
The disruptions actually was as a result of the COVID-19 lockdown. And passport booklets are not printed in Ghana.
But the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration indicated last month that over 30,000 passports were yet to be collected at the various passport application centers. How is the passport office dealing with the issuance of uncollected passports?
There have been the thinking of publishing the names.
So how again do you respond to allegations of corruption within the passport office, including reports of staff demanding for bribes and engaging in other unethical behavior? And how do you plan to deal with it?
We cannot whisk away the fact that in every institution there are what we call inside facilitators. Of course, the Guru boys are not officers of passport office.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of The Hard Truth. Now, today we are focusing our lens on the passport office. The passport office is an essential institution responsible for the issuance of travel documents that allow Ghanaian citizens to travel abroad. Today, we have the privilege of speaking with the director to gain insight into the operations and challenges faced by the office. Throughout this year, the passport office has faced numerous challenges, including allegations of corruption, long wait times, delay in processing applications, and issues with the integrity of the passport issuance processes. As the head of this crucial institution, the director has a significant role to play in addressing these challenges and improving the overall services provided to the public. In this interview, we'll be asking some hard-hitting questions to gain a better understanding of the work being done by the passport office and the steps being taken to address the challenges it faces. We hope to gain valuable insights into the measures taken to improve the passport application and renewal processes, increase the number of countries that allow visa-free travel for Ghanaian citizens, and ensure that all citizens are treated fairly and with respect. My guest for tonight is Director of Passport, Mohammed Habib Idris, and we are excited to hear from him this evening to learn more about the passport office operations and their future plans. You are watching The Hard Truth. My name is Nana Akosua Konadu. Habib, welcome to The Hard Truth.
Thank you very much, Nana Akosua.
Now, in fact, my name is like the longest ever, so it's Nana Akosua Konadu. Asante Samuels. In fact, you have to take a long sigh after the name. But it's good to have you on the show, sir.
Thank you.
Now, before this interview, I did a survey, and many Ghanaians are not aware that you have replaced Louis Obin as the director of passports. It would seem quite that your appointment has been on a low key. So, first of all, tell us, who is Mohammed Habib Idris, and how did you land yourself in this position that many people are eyeing?
Thank you very much, and my greetings to your cherished viewers. As you rightly indicated, my name is Mohammed Habib Idris. I am a Foreign Service Officer with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. I landed myself as Director of Passports because I was assigned to the office by the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Why low-key? Why isn't it all over the internet? We didn't hear of it. So we thought, Louis Obin was still there, Mr. Louis Obin was still there as the passport director.
I started work as passport director barely on 16th November 2022. So as you may notice, I'm less than 3 months old as director of passports.
We're expecting a communique or something on the public that you have taken over, you are in charge, but it seemed quite very, very low-key.
Well, for Minister of Foreign Affairs, it's usually a reassignment or an assignment to one of the bureaus or departments of the ministry. I could have been assigned to Africa Department, Middle East, Information, and this time it's Passport Office. So it's a normal
It's a normal
assignment.
thing.
It's a normal thing as far as the Minister of Foreign Affairs is concerned.
Okay, so please be aware that he's in charge. Mr. Is it Mr. What's the title?
Yes, Mr.
So he's Mr. Habib Mohammed Idris.
Mohammed Habib Idris.
Mohammed
Mohammed
Habib
Habib
Idris. He's now the new head of Passport Office of Ghana. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how are you settling again into the role as the director of Passport? And, have you faced any challenges so far?
Well, the director of passports does not work in isolation. I actually came to lead a team of dedicated officers. And so I'm working with them and we are settling in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to the acquisition, of passport, the ordinary Ghanaian doesn't really ask much. I think they just want to do or be able to go through a stress-free application process and, get a better passport within the shortest possible time. To what extent do you think the Passport Office has succeeded in meeting these expectations?
To really answer your question, maybe one need to step back a little bit. You realize that the Passport Office has come a long way in its quest to deliver quality service to the Ghanaian people.
Right.
Ghana evolved from the issuance of handwritten passports to machine-readable passports and to current biometric passports. And all these changes took place in order to ensure and enhance security and integrity of Ghanaian passports. And you also realize that gone are the days when applicants used to form long queues in order to apply and process for their passports. Or applicants used to travel all the way to Accra from other parts of the country in order to process their passports. This was the situation that we had in the past. And it was a very difficult exercise. Over time, previous governments actually attempted to address this menace. And in 2017, when this current government assumed office, a number of policy interventions took place.
Right.
And one significant policy intervention was the establishment of passport application centers across the country. This was done in order to bring the processing of passports to the doorsteps of the people. Currently, we have 13 passport application centers in the country. And in fact, Ghana machines abroad have not been left out. About 66 Ghana machines abroad actually process passports for our compatriots in the diaspora. So you realize that the Passport Office, and for that matter, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, has come a long way.
We've come a long way, but
Yes.
you mentioned you have 13 centers,
Yes.
concentrating on only 7 regions. There are still several regions who, do not have these application centers. So again, how soon will the remaining regions get their centers, and what work has gone into it?
Yes, in reality, there are actually 9 regions in Ghana that has passport application centers. Efforts are being made to extend these services to the rest of the regions. Currently, a passport center is being constructed in Bolga. A dedicated passport center is being constructed in Bolga, and efforts are underway to to set up passport application centers in the 6 newly created regions.
Right, but Habib, listen, there is no
Yes.
doubt that
Yes.
the online application system, you mentioned that you've come a long way,
Yes.
has made it faster to
Yes.
submit applications,
Yes.
but it hasn't really succeeded much in addressing the long delays, acquiring a passport, has it?
A service delivery outfit like Passport Office, where we churn out so many passports in a day, in months, cannot be completely free from challenges. What is important is to work to try to minimize them. The online passport application system was a game changer. Applicants had the benefit of sitting wherever they wanted, either in their homes.
You can sit wherever you want to sit,
Yes.
submit, and then
Submit
it will
your
still be
application.
delayed. So what would you
Yes.
say again to people who through experiences have concluded that applying through the online system is a waste of time and effort, unless an insider who can do the job for you? What would you say about that?
Maybe we should ask ourselves, what was the mode of application before the online application system? Applicants used to go in for manual forms. Some of these manual forms, they used to queue at post offices, in the banks, to acquire them. But with the current online application system, applicants access the form online. And in fact, payment for this online form is much easier by the use of electronic payment systems, either by mobile money, use of Visa cards or MasterCards. And one is good to go. So online system makes it possible for applicants to access the forms easily, make payments, and it is faster when applications are being transmitted from the passport application centers to the head office. Yes.
So how would you intend to, again, establish a system which guarantees that majority, if not all, applicants can get their passport processed and issued at a timely manner? Is that a plan? What's the plan for that? To get it processed in a timely manner?
Yes, efforts are being made towards that. Currently, the standard time for the processing of passport is either 15 days or 21 days. But we consider that sometimes due to technical challenges, we are not able to meet the deadlines. But on many occasions, the passport office is able to meet these deadlines. So efforts are being made to ensure that we meet our deadlines. The story usually is made manifest when you have the negative stories coming out. Whenever there are negative stories, that is what comes out so much. But usually,
which ones?
Usually people tend to, play down on the positives.
No doubt. No
Yes.
doubt it's faster. You don't have to go queue, no doubt. But we are saying it's still slow, and then we have to have a plan to address all these issues. But again, let's look at this. Last year, October, there was a backlog of 90,000 passport applicants who had not received their passports due to the shortage of booklets. What progress has the passport office made in clearing some of these backlogs, and how to prevent a reoccurrence of this?
The backlog actually resulted from...
Don't tell me Russia-Ukraine war. Are you going to say that?
Well, it resulted as a result of disruptions in supply chain.
Including the Russian-Ukraine war?
Well, you may say so.
I don't know
that
why
is the
you
hard
say
truth.
That. I heard that the Russian...
Well, it actually even started...
What has the Ukraine war got to do with anything with the passport
actually,
office?
Well, you are emphasizing on that. The disruptions actually was as a result of the COVID-19 lockdown.
I see.
And passport booklets are not printed in Ghana. They are...
Can we print them here?
Well, there is a possibility. But it's not only Ghana that imports passport booklets from outside our jurisdiction. So many countries
I see.
do that. Yes, so the shortage was actually as a result of, as indicated, the COVID-19 restrictions. But the boost came eventually, and you mentioned over 90,000. Currently, the outstanding passport booklets or outstanding passports we printed are just about 40,000. So we are making efforts to ensure that the backlog is cleared.
Well, we have sent applications. We talked about faster process with the online. So people have done that. So why the delay? COVID is long gone. So why just 40,000?
You see, the passport is a very hot commodity.
Yeah.
The demand for passport continues to increase by day. So while passport office continue to work to clear the backlog, we receive daily applications. Remember I told you that we now have 13 passport application centers, including our missions.
How many are in Ghana? How many are in Accra? How many centers are in Accra?
We have a center in Accra. There is another center in Tema. There is the premium passport office. So we have 3 centers in the Greater Accra region. And the head office is not the passport application center. Yes. So when we talk of passport application centers in Accra, there are 3.
I see.
Yes.
I see. But the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration indicated last month that over 30,000 passports were yet to be collected at the various passport application centers. Now, how did this situation arise? And how has the passport office, or how is the passport office dealing with the issuance of uncollected passports?
Usually or ordinarily, when an applicant processes for his or her passport, a collection slip is given on which the date for collection of the passport is indicated. When passports are printed and issued, there is an automatic message that goes to the applicant to alert him or her to come and pick the passport. But I can tell you that these messages are usually sent. In spite of this, some applicants do not come to collect their passports. So one measure that we have adopted is to embark on vigorous campaign. You will have noticed that not too long ago, we issued announcements to applicants to come and then collect their passport at the centers. The other measure that we're thinking to adopt is to enhance the use of courier services such that when applicants are filling the form, there will be an option for them to opt for courier services
With
to
a
deliver
fee.
their passport
With a
at their
fee.
cost.
So what happens if these people still fail to come for it? So you are going to issue a courier, whatever.
Yes.
You are going to send SMSs and all
Yes.
that. So
Yes.
what happens if they fail to come? What happens to these passports despite it's original to them?
Well, we will continue to announce, send text messages, and call on them. There have been the thinking of publishing the names in the dailies, but sometimes we consider the issue of privacy,
Yeah.
to publish people's names that they have been issued passports. It borders on privacy.
I see.
Yes. So it's really a challenge, but we are working at it.
Let's not focus on how the passport office is faring under your watch.
Yes.
What's the vision? What's your vision for the office, and what are the key roadmaps in translating your vision into action?
Well, The vision of the passport office is to continue with previous efforts to enhance service delivery. You know, administration is continuous. We come to take over from the good works of our predecessors.
Right.
And we need to do more than what they did. But you will have noticed that the passport office, and for that matter, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, is in the process of rolling out the chip embedded passport.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about
Yes.
later. But since you
Yes.
assumed office, what
Yes.
are some of the, I would say, inefficiencies you have identified, not what I've said,
Yes.
but you have identified in the operations of your outfit, and how are you dealing with them?
Well, the inefficiencies cut across all levels, from personnel to equipment and then processes. In terms of personnel, we are taking measures to rationalize the human resources that we have at the passport office. You know that passport office relies on the expertise of stakeholder agencies,
Right.
you know, in Ghana for the processing and acquisition of passport. You know, there have been feedback on the level and size of personnel that we
Right.
have.
So are we looking at downsizing soon?
We are looking at that.
How many people are we thinking of letting them go?
Rationalizing. For now,
Rationalizing, downsizing,
yes,
semantics.
yes.
Same.
For now, it's difficult to put a number on it, but I can tell you that something is being done about it. And the other challenge that we have is
What of training and retraining them?
we do that. As a matter of fact, Saturday, last Saturday, we are in office to undertake training for our vetting officers. Yes, so training is ongoing, you know. And as a service delivery institution, as I indicated, another challenge is infrastructure. You know, IT infrastructure to physical infrastructure are areas that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is working on.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so we talk about infrastructure in a bit. So you're still watching The Hard Truth. We'll be right back to stay.
Yes.
Welcome back. You are still watching The Hard Truth. I still have here the Director of Passport, Mohammed, Habib,
Idris.
So before we went on a break, you were talking about the, what's it called, the backlog.
Yes.
And so you were giving us a deadline. People didn't hear. I just want you to say it again.
Yes. The passport office intend to clear the backlog by the end of March, 2023.
By end of March 2023.
Yes, yes.
So please listen. If you have your passport at the passport office, whichever center, please go for it. By the end of, so what happens? So by the end of March, and if it's still there, what would you do to them? The passport that are still there.
Well, we
Are you
have
going to keep them?
we have no option than to keep them, because when passports even expire, holders or applicants or users will still need them as reference points for
For the
renewal
new
of
one. So it's
new
necessary.
passport. It's
Please
necessary.
pick up your passport if you
Yes.
applied and it's done or the process is completed.
Yes.
Now, Habib, let's talk about this. Many Ghanaians have reported difficulties in renewing their passport from abroad. including long wait times and lack of responsiveness from the passport office. What actions are you taking to address these challenges and, to ensure that our brothers and sisters living abroad get an efficient service and effective service from you?
Yes, as I rightly indicated initially, the passport centers in abroad, in Ghana missions abroad, were inadequate. But currently, there are 66 passport offices or passport centers in our consulates and embassies. And in fact, that includes 14 printing hubs. So the situation has changed, and sometimes people, excuse me to say, still tend to live in the past.
How do you mean?
Sometimes people tend to think that
It's still the
it
same
is
process.
still the same process, still difficult. But the reports that we are getting from our missions abroad indicates that passports are applied for and printed swiftly.
Abroad.
Yes.
Right. But Ghanaian passports, again, have been ranked as one of the weakest in the world in terms of visa-free travel. What measures, again, is the passport office taking to improve the country's standing and increasing the number of countries that allow the visa-free travel for Ghanaian citizens?
You're talking of visa-free travel. I'm not sure whether the mere fact that a country has a passport, grants the holder a visa-free to another country. Visa-frees are obtained when countries sign bilateral agreements. And I believe Ghana has signed bilateral agreements with a number of countries for each other's citizens who hold passports to enter our countries visa-free. And in fact, most often than not, this applies to holders of diplomatic and service passports. Yes. So I believe with time, Ghana will sign more bilateral agreements with friendly nations for waiver of visas for each other's citizens.
So it's not the sole responsibility of the passport to ensure that there is a country or a passport has a visa-free
It is not entirely
not
the responsibility of passport office.
I see. So how again do you respond to allegations of corruption within the passport office, including reports of, staff demanding for bribes and engaging in other unethical behavior? And how do you plan to deal with it?
Well, the issues and allegations of corruption actually is not peculiar to one institution in Ghana, like passport office.
You're talking about your institution now.
I know, but you need to put it in a context.
I'm listening.
Yes. So it's a problem that we all Ghanaians must try to address.
Habib.
You will require to pay either 100 Ghana cedis or 150 Ghana cedis for a passport, a standard passport or expedited service, or 150 and 200 for 48-page passport, for standard passport processing and expedited service. So Ghanaians should know this. Let's have faith in the process. Let's not give ourselves for others to take advantage of us. What we say is that, you see, the giver and the receiver are all...
But I get that, but the Goro boys don't work in isolation. I mean, I'm a Goro boy.
Of course.
They'll have insiders there, right?
Of course. Of course. We cannot whisk away the fact that in every institution there are what we call inside facilitators Of course, the Guru boys are not officers of passport office. In all these instances, there are inside facilitators. So applicants should not allow themselves to be exploited.
So
If
yes.
for a reason an applicant faces challenges in the acquisition of passport, all that you need to do is to go to the officers in charge and present your problem.
But not a third party.
Not a third party.
But last one
Oh.
again, sir, you issued a directive to the National Intelligence Bureau and the Ghana Immigration Service and other security and state agencies to rotate their staff on secondment at the passport office. Now, you indicated that it was to eliminate corruption. That was what you said. Have they complied? And, did it have to come to this point where you have to really issue a directive to compel them to do the right thing?
Of course, you see, one of the problems that passport offices encounter is the longevity of officers assigned to the passport office. The longer a person stays there, there is a tendency for over-familiarity with outsiders. And that creates a situation where issues of corruption, malpractices could arise. That is precisely why the Minister of Foreign Affairs has a tenure limit for staff in the passport office. In fact, it is supposed to be 6 months. An officer posted to a passport office by the Minister of Foreign Affairs policy is 6 months.
Even for you?
Yes. But the reality is that sometimes, due to operational realities, officers stay 6 months to 1 year. So when I came, we realized that this policy was not adhered to, within the last few years, maybe a year or 2 years behind. So we had to draw the attention of our youth agencies to this policy of replacements of staff when they overstay.
Is it working?
Oh, really, it's working. A lot of the agencies responded by replacing staff who overstayed or who stayed longer than 1 year, between 1 and 2 years at the passport offices.
Right, but for the seconded staff again who stayed past their maximum 6 months period, there are rumors again that some of them have stayed for more than a year. Is that true?
As I indicated, the policy is 6 months, but sometimes you have operational realities to the extent that it is not so possible to take out an officer within 6 months. In some cases, officers are taken or replaced after 6 months. But in other instances, we have quite a number of officers staying between 6 months to 1 year. In fact, there are exceptional cases where we have officers staying up to 3 years because of institutional continuity.
So how often do these kind of violations happen? How often?
Well, what we need to do is to monitor to see how long staff stays in the passport office. When it is noticed that they stay in longer than what the policy provides, then we just need to prompt the partner institutions.
In prompting them, I remember you also, beyond that, the directive, you have queried these institutions on why they are flouting the regulations. So have you done that? Have you queried the institutions on why they are flouting the regulations?
Well, for now, as I indicated, the response is encouraging. A lot of institutions are replacing their staff. So let's see what happens in future.
Let me just ask you this. I mean, there are suggestions that seconded staff do a lot of intense lobbying to get posted to the passport office. I don't know why, but and also to be maintained there. What are some of the reasons they do this? I even hear they buy their way there. Is that true?
Well,
some of them buy their way there.
well, I cannot
But have you heard?
actually, I cannot
Have you
actually
heard a
respond
lot
to
of
this.
lobbying?
You heard that. I have not actually heard that.
You
I mean,
haven't heard.
these stories are allegations. So sometimes it's very
Is it because
difficult
we
to.
also hear that it's
Yes.
perceived that the passport office is seen as a place to make good money, so you need to be connected to be posted there? Could it be true?
Well, it is just well and good that officers are supposed to stay at the passport office for a very short time. If the allegations are true, then
6 months you are gone.
the antidote is the
6
replacement
months
of
you leave
replacement
the
of
place.
staff. Yes, after 6 months, 1 year. Yes.
Anyway, let's find out the minister. Honorable Shelley Ayoko Botche announced last year, October, that Ghana would transition from the use of the biometric passport to chip-embedded passport, known as the e-passports. Now, first of all, sir, educate us on the difference between the two kinds of passports we have, the e-passport and, the other ones, and what we have right now.
The chip-embedded passport is often also referred to the e-passport. And it is an enhancement in terms of security features and easy access to passport controls. It is also a biometric passport, okay. But it has multiple layers of security, which is lacking in the biometric passport. In fact, the chip embedded passport contains an electronic microprocessor chip that is embedded in the page of the passport. And this facility contains the bioinformation or the biometric information that is used to identify or authenticate the identity of the passport holder. And you will recall that Ghana will have to keep pace with technology. We are coming to an era where you have smart passports and smart borders, where at the airport you have automatic systems that requires automatic check-in to even boarding. And Ghana will have to keep pace and also migrate from the current passport to chip-embedded passport. In any case, it's even a requirement of the International Civil Aviation Organization. Holders of chip-embedded passport, as I indicated, are able to travel easily around the world as compared to biometric
passport holders, right?
passports.
So will the biometric passport be phased out, or will existing passport holders need to upgrade?
Of course, it will be phased out. I like the term phase out. When the chip embedded passport is rolled out, it doesn't mean that the current biometric passport will come to immediate halt as far as its usage is concerned. They will be phased out gradually as and when the validity of the
So if it's
passport.
10 years, after 10 years, then you can switch on to the e-passport, right? So you have a
You see,
biometric.
the e-passport will be introduced, and the biometric passport will still be in circulation.
So I'm saying that I have it.
Yes.
So let's say you have a
Yes.
10-year
Yes.
passport.
Yes.
Or passport.
Yes.
So after 10 years.
Yes,
That's
it's-
when you apply for
exactly.
the e-passport.
But applicants or holders may decide, even it could be 8 years valid.
Even 1 year.
1 year, and
still
holders
switch
will
to.
decide, to discard it and switch on to.
Right. So I want to know, will the application process for the e-passport again be different from the current biometric passport that we have?
Of course, we are expecting that it will come with an enhanced technology. It will come with an enhanced processes. And definitely, you remember initially when you asked the efforts and the measures being put in place to ensure that passport acquisition is easier. I was mentioning the e-passport introduction. Definitely, it's going to enhance or improve the process of acquisition of passports.
But have you realized that when the online application model was introduced, the cost of getting the passport increased? So will the cost of getting the e-passport also go up? And when the migration happens, I just wondering whether the cost will also go up.
Well, these technologies, enhanced technologies, come at a cost. It is also true that government of Ghana actually subsidizes what we pay for as far as passports are concerned.
I see.
Yes.
I see. So what is the rollout plan, and when do we start issuing e-passports?
Currently, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has actually gone into an agreement through the public-private partnership arrangements, and efforts are underway for it to be launched by the close of 2023. Very soon, the ministry will put in place a steering committee and a project implementation team. And not too distant future, I think the ministry will come out with a comprehensive communication and information.
I see, but not to
plan on
cut you. I remember again,
Yeah.
the minister started talking about the introduction of the e-embedded passport
Yeah.
in 2019 when she said discussions were ongoing. And
Yes.
in February 2021, she also promised Parliament that Ghana will migrate to the e-passport by June 2021.
Yes.
Obviously, that didn't happen 2 years ago. How many
Yes.
years ago?
Yes.
So what are the assurance that it will happen this time around?
We are on course. We are on course for it to roll out.
I want to know, and then the level of preparedness
We
for
are
the
actually on
passport to
course.
carry out these migrations.
You
in
know,
terms of
in fact, the issue of chip embedded passport came to fore during the era of the previous regime. I remember it was Honorable Anetete who was the first Minister of Foreign Affairs to make statements on the possibility of Ghana migrating to chip embedded passport. And our current minister took it up. But sometimes there are exogenous factors. When these announcements were being made, little did we know that COVID-19 lockdowns, these factors actually, sometimes we tend to think that we blame all.
Oh, we are not blaming. We're just hoping that it happens this time around to facilitate our travels and all that.
So the point is that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is on course. Provided nothing happens to stall.
Nothing should happen.
Yes, provided nothing
I was asking
beyond,
about the level of preparedness
Yes.
of the passport office to carry out this migration in terms of capacity and funding.
Yes.
So is that where the PPA comes in?
Exactly so. But even that, before the actual launch of the project, the passport office currently trying to reorganize itself in terms of personnel, processes, and infrastructure, which I did alluded to initially.
Right.
So we're trying to reorganize ourselves in preparedness to support the project.
What's the budget? Do we have a budget for it? How much will it cost us?
Definitely there's a budget, but it doesn't come to mind now. I don't know.
Habib,
Yes.
around what figure? Don't give us an exact, but how much are we looking at?
Well, I don't have the figure, honestly. I don't have the figure.
But you've seen the figure, but you tell me.
No, I don't have it. But don't worry, in due course, all the information that you require will be bare.
Okay.
Yes.
But while the e-passport has a lot of advantages, also has a lot of or several weaknesses, there have been concerns of passport cloning and authorized tracking of the e-passport holders. What measures have been put in place to deal with these limitations of the e-passport? And are they robust enough?
Well, for now, it is difficult to come up with these measures. And in fact, it's not even advisable. These are security features and these are security measures. So it will not be appropriate for us to talk about measures that could safeguard the e-passport that we are yet to launch, you know. So
But obviously there'll be
definitely,
measures to
exactly.
look at all
There
these
are measures.
implications.
There are measures, yes, but
I
it's not
see.
appropriate, yeah, to
I
mention
hear
them.
you.
Yes.
More with Habib, the director of Passport, after the break. You're still watching The Hard Truth. Do stay. Welcome back. You are still watching The Hard Truth. The director of Passport is still here, Mr. Habib Idris. Mohammed, I've turned your name. Huh?
That's okay.
That's okay.
Yes. No problem.
Right. So, Habib,
Yes.
listen, you can't travel with your passport if it's just about 6 months to expire. But many people are not aware of this. So, what is the plan to actually educate the public on the vital information about their passports?
Akosua, thank you for this question. Indeed, it is really a problem as far as the passport office is concerned. We are inundated with cases of people or travelers who have been stopped at the point of boarding the aircraft because the validity of the passport is less than 6 months. In international standards, actually does not allow that passports holders should travel when the validity
But it's not in the
is less.
booklet that after
Yes.
6 months,
Yes.
or, before that.
Yes,
There's
so
nothing there.
so that is what I'm glad that you brought out this point. So we need to inform the public when the validity of a passport is less than 6 months. In fact, the visa authorities, embassies will not admit those passports for visas. And aircrafts will not allow holders
Is
of
there a special
passports.
reason why?
Yes.
What's
Well,
the reason?
it's in line with ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organizations and directives.
I see.
So it's an international requirement. Yes.
So you have to be looking out for the dates on the passport, expiration dates on the passport.
Yes, and you
have to be
see,
looking out for that.
generally, Ghanaians, excuse me to say, wait until they have need to travel before they come to renew their passports. See, when you wait till the last minute, it puts the applicant in an emergency situation. And that even exposes them to third-party interference. And they may be exploited.
So every citizen is entitled to a passport,
Yes, of
whether you
course.
are going to travel tomorrow or not. You
When,
just need one.
when you are qualified, yes.
Oh,
Every citizen
when
is
you are
entitled.
qualified.
Yes.
Explain that. Who is not qualified?
Once you are a citizen of Ghana,
qualified.
you need to you are qualified, but you need to submit certain documents before a passport can be processed for you.
I see.
Yes.
So, over the past few weeks, Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa has been on a crusade to get Reverend Kusi or Victor Kusi Boateng, a member of the Board of Trustees of the National Cathedral, indicted over allegations that double identities. One of the allegations involves Reverend Kusi Boateng having 2 Ghanaian passports with different names, i.e. Victor Kusi Boateng and Kwabena Edu Jemfi. First of all, within the current biometric system, is it really possible for any individual to hold more than 1 Ghanaian passport with different names or identities?
No, it is not possible. the fingerprint of the individual will expose an attempt to hold 2 passports. So once your biometric information is captured in the system, if you change your name, the machine or the system will indicate that Alassane Yakubu is the same as Mohammed Habib. So it is highly unlikely unless your biometrics were not changed. In fact, that is why Ghana migrated from handwritten passports, which was so vulnerable to forgery, to machine-readable passport.
So you're saying, right,
which was also vulnerable to
the biometric
yes,
system.
to biometric.
So it's
yes.
not possible to have, one person with 2 different names.
It is not possible.
It's not possible.
It's not possible.
Right, but again,
once your biometrics are captured, the fingerprint, your face, the iris of the eye, once you have this, if you attempt to take a passport again with a different name, the system will indicate that you are the same person. Yes.
And it will blow an alarm at your end, to look at the issue again. But
Exactly.
Honorable Okujeto, his allegation raises questions about the credibility again of the processes of your office, the passport office. Have you taken the steps to verify the claims that Reverend Kwesi Boateng holds multiple Ghanaian passports?
Well, we don't have that evidence. We don't have that evidence that somebody holds 2 passports. Unless a person held a machine-readable passport or handwritten passport and later on apply for
The biometric.
biometric passport. But then, if a holder of a machine-readable passport is subscribing for biometric passport,
They take the old one.
it will be cancelled.
They'll take the old one,
Yes. It will be cancelled. So this, from passport office, maybe we need to interrogate it further.
But are you also aware that whether Reverend Kwesi Boateng was issued a diplomatic passport with the names Kwabena Gyamfi, Edu Gyamfi, and even though the state registered him as a member of the Board of Trustees to the National Cathedral with the name Reverend Victor Kwesi Boateng as a diplomat, what are the repercussions on this?
Well, I will have to find out. We'll have to delve into that. I don't have answers to this question.
You don't care? I mean, this is your office.
Not that I don't care.
Your outfit, so.
Not that I don't care. I don't have immediate answers to this question. So, but the passport office can always check. You can check on that.
You were very silent on this issue. We haven't had any concrete information from the passport office concerning this issue.
Well, these are when people make statements, allegations. It is not all the time that an institution will rise to respond to them. I'm not sure if Honorable Ablakwa directed the issue specifically to the passport office. Did he?
No, he didn't.
Yes. So it isn't all the time that one responds to opinions and allegations of citizens on matters like that.
If the image of your outfit is at stake, I think it should be a concern to you. And there's like a national issue now. Everybody's talking about this issue. So I think it should be a priority. You need to look into these things, don't you think so?
Well, it is something that we can look into.
But from what you said, it is not possible for an individual to hold double passports. That's what you said.
Biometric or
passport.
e-passports. Yes.
What would you say, finally, what would you have achieved for your office by the end of 2023? And how will you measure success and the challenges you anticipate on the way?
Yes, by the end of 2023, I will still reiterate the plans of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to roll out the chip embedded passport, which assures security for holders of this e-passport. It will enhance the integrity of Ghanaian passport. it will allow Ghanaians to travel swiftly across the world.
That's what you would achieve by the end of your tenure.
Yes.
I mean, by the end of 2023.
Yes. You know, the passport office is often confronted with a situation where applicants wear white clothing to come to take the biometric pictures. And you know, the background to the camera is usually white. So white is not allowed to be worn to take the biometric picture. So I'll use the opportunity to appeal to all applicants and prospective applicants that when they come to take
Please don't wear white.
biometric
They shouldn't wear white.
passports, when they come to take the camera, when they come to take the pictures at the passport centers, they should not wear white.
I hear you. Yes. Habib, nice talking to you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for talking to
Thank
the
you.
Hard Truth. That's it for tonight. I have been speaking to Mohammed, Habib, Idris, Director of Passport. I'm sure you have learned a lot. I have learned a lot from our conversation. So catch a repeat of the program on Saturday at 3 p.m. You've been watching The Hard Truth. My name is Nana Akosua Konadu. Have a good evening.